The Jewish community, roughly 100 years before the Common Era, was under the rule of the Syrian Empire, which was actually controlled by the Greek community. And so King Antiochus was basically persecuting the Jewish community of that generation. The temple in Jerusalem was ransacked, and an army was created, led by priests in the temple. There was a priest named Mordecai who had 5 sons, and his son Judah really emerged, if you will, as the key general in this action against the Greek Syrian Empire that was making their lives rather difficult, defeated the army, and returned into the temple in Jerusalem. And the first thing they did was to reinstate the practices of the temple and lit the menorah in the temple. And they only apparently had enough oil to last half a day. And they lit this oil, and the miracle of Hanukkah is that the oil lasted for 8 days. And that is why we light the Hanukkah, and that's why we in fact eat potato latkes, which is cooked in oil, or potato pancakes, and donuts, which are anything that's deep fried. That we now know, will lead us clearly to either heart disease or diabetes. Has become a significant part of the Jewish cultural tradition. So Hanukkah is in fact a joyous holiday. It is we celebrate the victory of a Jewish army. It became an inspiration. Hanukkah has taken on meaning over the last 60 years because it became with the creation of the state of Israel in 1948. A modern Jewish army was created, and they look back with great affection at the victorious Jewish armies, such as this great victory against Antiochus. So, it is an interesting, joyous, wonderful holiday that ironically does not appear in the Jewish version of the Bible. Why? Because the descendants of Judah and his brothers, who were all priests in the temple, eventually go to work for the Romans. And so when the Greek Empire is replaced by the Roman Empire, the priests fall into disfavor as the leadership in the Jewish community. And of course, the whole Christian experience emanates from this this tension around the beginning of the Common Era. And historically, Jews have been castigated by the Christian community because of the role of the priests and the so-called trial of Jesus. But it was not just the tension between the emerging faith and the ancient religion, but the Jewish community lost faith in the priests because they were essentially Roman puppets, and a new group of leaders emerged known as the rabbis, and they are as much political leaders as they are spiritual leaders, and their role in the early days is quite different from the way we think of a rabbi today. The rabbis emerged as the dominant leadership, and so when the rabbis eventually codified the books that became part of the Bible, the story of Hanukkah was consciously left out. What appeared in 2 minor writings known as the Book of Maccabees, and does not appear in the Hebrew version of the Bible, even though we venerate Judah Maccabee and his brothers and the story of Hanukkah as an important part of the Jewish tradition.